All right, let's get this one over with. A little Kansas State instant reaction from T-Mobile Center in Kansas City after the final game of the day at the Big 12 Basketball Championship quarterfinals. And a night to forget for the Kansas State Wildcats, one of their roughest efforts of the season as they fall to TCU. 80-67 is the final from the T-Mobile Center. Dan Lucero with you for a little instant reaction. You'll be hearing in the background a little bit some music and some of the TCU post-game remarks. This game was very simple for Kansas State. Their opponent is very good, first of all, TCU, and they are equipped to exploit the weakness that has dogged K-State all season long, and that is looseness with the basketball. Kansas State turns it over too much, and TCU thrives on turning you over and getting out in transition, and they turned K-State over 20 times in this game for a total of 20 points. That's the one thing that jumps out as a major negative for K-State. They didn't shoot it very well either. 7 of 30 from behind the arc, although they were 44% as a team and made 12 of their 15 free throws. And they actually out-rebounded TCU in the game, 41-34. One of the rare teams to have a size advantage against. They were able to out-rebound the Horned Frogs. But this game turned on one very out-of-character stat for the TCU Horned Frogs. Coming into this game, the Horned Frogs had not made more than 10 three-pointers in a game. They were the worst three-point shooting team in the league, below 30% as a team from distance on the year. Tonight, they made 11 of 25 three-pointers, 44%. The TCU, they're the 22nd ranked team in the country. They're really good at everything but shooting. And when a weakness becomes a strength, well, this is what it can look like for TCU. They were rampant in the second half as the threes started to fall. Mike Miles and Chuck O'Bannon Jr. each made 4 threes, each had 22 points to lead the way for the Horned Frogs. And K-State couldn't match up, and you could sense their frustration because the way you have to defend TCU, they're so good in penetration, you have to play off of them from three. And usually they don't hurt you when you do that because, again, worst three-point shooting team in the Big 12. Today they made 44% of their threes. That's basketball for you. And in a win-or-go-home tournament scenario, sometimes it's those out-of-character performances that get you beat. Or in TCU's case, it's an out-of-character performance that gets you into the next round. K-State got 14 points from Keontae Johnson and Desi Sills. Sills was really active early in the game. He gave them a lot of really good energy, had 4 blocked shots in the first half, but also turned the ball over 3 times. Marquise Noel, rough night from the field, 11 points, but 1 of 9 from behind the arc. Naquan Tomlin finished with 10 points, but had to sit a big chunk of the first half with foul trouble. K-State was even with TCU just about when he left. I'm going to pull up the plus minus for Tomlin on the night. He was just a -3 on the night. So it gives you an idea. Game was pretty even over the course of his 25 minutes when he was on the floor, but K-State was -10 when he was on the bench. It's a tough one for K-State, no question about it, but they've got to flush it. 2 straight losses, not the way they wanted to head into the NCAA tournament, but that's what they'll be. 23-9 as they await Selection Sunday. Very likely they'll be a number 3 seed in the tournament. And the hope is that they'll be somewhere close enough for K-State fans to hop in the car and drive, whether that's Des Moines or Denver. But who's to say? They could, I guess, feasibly bump down to the 4 line, but I don't think that's terribly likely. I don't think Xavier or UConn is going to move up on that 4 line, and I don't think this loss is bad enough to a really good TCU team to knock K-State down several pegs in the seeding. So I think they're going to be a top 3 seed. They certainly won't fall any lower than a 4, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be a 3 on Selection Sunday. But we'll have to wait until the NCAA tournament to see the Wildcats back in action, as again, they fall tonight to TCU 80-67. That'll do it for our instant reaction here on the Sports on 580 YouTube. We'll be on the air from noon to 1 tomorrow on Mic'd Up with Jake and Fulton. That'll lead into K-State women's basketball. The Wildcat women were victorious tonight, so they'll play at 1:30 tomorrow at Municipal Auditorium in the quarterfinal round of the Big 12 women's tournament. But the men are done. They fall tonight 80-67 from the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City. I'm Dan Lucero wishing you a good night.